Today, guys, we've got another tool video. Today, we're looking at a brand that we've never talked about, never featured, and I really hadn't heard about until a month or so ago, coming out of Taiwan. This is a company called Utoku. Now, they contacted me through Instagram and sent me a sampling of their product line to make some content on, share with you guys, and that's what we're going to do in today's video because looking around, I really couldn't find much about the brand and seems like they're fairly new. So, like I said, they sent me this sampling of their products. That's what we're going to go over today and see what they sent, see what they have to offer, and see if it's any good and worth putting your hard-earned money into. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So guys, as per usual, do a general overview of what we got to look at and then go item for item a little bit more in depth. So starting off, we've got this canvas roll bag of double-ended ratcheting wrenches. We've got an open speed style ratchet in the open end. We've got a regular box ratchet flex on this end. Got some paracord on them, very interesting there. Touch a little bit more on that in a little bit. Then we've got these Nexer exquisite mirror neochrome looking finish wrenches. I assume this is something similar, or they're trying to do something similar to KTC's Nepros line with this Nexer. Then we've got these 1/4 inch drive sockets here. Now there's something going on in here. We got a little bit of a anti-rounding going on in there, something kind of interesting. We've got a double-ended ratchet wrench, reversible, with 4 different sizes on it. We've got a flex head, small, dual drive, 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch sockets on one side, 1/4 inch hex bits on the other. Then we've got a 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch super slim asymmetrical ratchet here. Pretty interesting design in all black. So let's get into it and look at each one of these items a little bit more closely. And again, see if this is something worth investing in or not. So to start things off, we've got, again, this Nexer exquisite mirror wrench set. Now, this is pretty nice in its presentation. We got the little wooden box here. We got a little clasp on it. We got a little bit of gold inlay in here. We got some foam going on. And we got that cool oil slick neochrome kind of rainbow finish on these. Now, again, this, I think, is their attempt at emulating something similar to Nepros from KTC, Kyoto Tool Company. I mean, even the name is very similar. Nexer, Nepros. I mean, it's very similar. The exquisite mirror here, mirror chrome polish or mirror polish chrome that they advertise on the Nepro stuff from KTC seems very familiar, and I don't think it's by coincidence. I think that, you know, there is a little bit of emulation there. Now, let's look a little bit closer at this wrench set. Now, I know a lot of you absolutely hate wrench sets that have size skips. I'm one of those kind of people. But, you know, most of these Asian manufacturers, especially the Japanese companies, tend to only offer the quote-unquote true metric sizes. So we got an 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 17. Normally there wouldn't even be a 13 here, but there would be a 19 for most Japanese tool manufacturers. Now, again, this I'm not too sure about. If you saw the short video I did, the TikTok video and all that, I already looked at these pretty in-depth. But we'll dig into it right here, right now, and actually look at these wrenches. I think this is one of those things that you buy that's kind of a talking piece, something cool to have in your toolbox. Not really something you're going to buy and go to work with, especially with the finish on it, the presentation, the wooden box. Most of you are not going to go buy this wrench set and, you know, start turning hours with it. This is kind of a collectible, so to say. Now, as far as price goes on this, from what I found online, there's not very many people that are selling the Utoku stuff yet, or, you know, are dealers. But looks like Supreme Hand Tools has this set for about 85 bucks, which isn't terrible for what it is. But again, lots of sizes missing, and you're probably not going to use it as a wrench set. So we'll take a look at the 17 here, just because it's the biggest one and easier to show you, you know, some detail on. Looking here at the box end, we see that there is some kind of anti-rounding functionality here. We got some reliefs here, some teeth, something similar to flank drive or similar to RBRT, or you know, it's very similar to this Craftsman overdrive wrench here. I'll grab the 17 real quick. But as you see in the box end, there are more teeth in that Craftsman overdrive, but it's very similar how they have that relief cut or tooth in the box end on these, well, both of them. Just there's more teeth in the Craftsman, and there's only one every other. This one's got it every flat of the 6. Now, when we go to the open end, we see the token engineering flaw. Now, a lot of people fight on this, but Torque Test Channel and others have proved over and over again that a V-notch in the open end does absolutely nothing. These two flats contacting do absolutely nothing to add to torque holding function or to keep from stripping out. The only thing that matters in an open end, just a regular open end, are the parallel jaws. This means jack. Having a V-notch introduces an area for stress to cause splay. You have two parallel sides that want to pull themselves apart, want to spread open when they are under torque. If you have a point for that stress to accumulate, it's going to flare open. That's how that works, especially when you compare it to a wrench that has a continuous arch. Most manufacturers at this point have realized that the continuous arch dissipates stress more evenly and prevents that flare from the parallel jaws. That's why Snap-on does it. That's why Mac dropped the V-notch for it in most of their wrench series, and most other mainline manufacturers went to it. The arch is one of the strongest engineering shapes, as we know. I mean, look at the Romans. They figured it out long ago that an arch dissipates evenly applied pressures. It's great for the open end of the wrench by distributing that force and that stress evenly. If you look at a heat torque map or a stress map of an open end wrench, when they have the V-notch, they have stress points where all these little points are. If you got that continuous arch, it dissipates that stress evenly, and it's less likely to splay. So, bad design, in my opinion, for the open end. And closed in, box in here. Hard to say what it does, if it does anything, but it does have the teeth that everyone are starting to introduce. So again, final thoughts on this. It's something cool. It's something neat. You can get it like this, or you can get it in a polished chrome. Is it something you're going to buy and go to work with? Like I said, absolutely not. This is kind of a collectible, kind of a knick-knack to display somewhere. It's not something you're going to use. And the price point for 85 bucks, I mean, you can get that overdrive wrench set, I believe, for that money. And it is a full set with no skips, if I recall correctly, and you can actually go to work with. This, on the other hand, like I said, kind of a collectible. Next up is another wrench set. While we're talking about wrenches, we might as well get them both out of the way. Now, this is their waxed cotton roll bag. Very nice presentation, very nice bag. Seems to be pretty thick and durable, you know, similar to Carhartt, duck material, you know, waxed canvas. Really nice. We got, again, some skips in this wrench set. It's an 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 17, and now you get a 19. So again, for most people, it's not great because there are sizes that are skipped. Now, this, right away, the comments on TikTok, here on YouTube on the short, and Instagram Reels pointed out immediately, this is not for mechanics. It is absolutely not for mechanics, as we all see from the paracord on here. You are not going to go to work with this. You'll immediately ruin this paracord with greasy hands and greasy engines and engine bays. So this, I'm not exactly sure who the demographic is or who it's for. Maybe for motorcycles, off-roaders, I don't know. I like the presentation. I like the roll bag. You can put it in a bag, go with it, but where are you going with it and who are you using it with? Now, on the open end of the wrench, as I said, this is an open ratchet design. Now, this is not great for grabbing and breaking loose a fastener. This is for speeding something in or speeding something out. I tried with the 14 to break something free, and it did not hold. Also, I don't know if you can see that. We'll try to zoom in, but the whatever coating they have on here, the finish, came right off of there with pretty light application of torque on both the 10 and the 14. Like I said, I used to try to grab and break something loose. I mean, a 10 doesn't have a ton of torque on it, and it slipped over and did not break a 10 loose. So you're not going to use it for automotive because the paracord and getting it disgusting. You're not going to use it to break free anything because you can't break anything free with this. On the back side, you do have the ratcheting mechanism. It's a flip over ratchet, no reversible switch, flex head, and I believe it's a 122 mechanism. Now, there is something interesting as you see there. This isn't a regular 6-point. It does have directional teeth, kind of a flank drive plus RBRT, anti-slip kind of deal. It's kind of like the Harbor Freight. I think Pittsburgh, they've got some wrenches with the design like this. I think Ulsa Tools and others rebrand and sell that same wrench from the same manufacturer. So it's very similar. It seemed to work okay the little bit that I used it. It didn't round anything over, and I actually put it on where I kind of rounded with the open end and it took it off. But these aren't a unique product. This is a rebrand. This is coming from a generic manufacturer. You can get it under many other brand names. This is not exclusive to Utoku. You can get it in Japan. I think it's, I'll put it on the screen. I'm going to slaughter it going by memory. But you can get it on basically any tool store in Japan, factory gear, hardware stores, places like that. You can get it. There's more sizes in this. They have full sizes of it. And they go for like $10 to $20 a wrench, depending on the size. And this is all open in here where the paracord is. If you took the paracord off, it's like an open, kind of like an acai light tool beam on it. But as a wrench, just as a regular combination wrench, it's not super useful with the way that you can't use the open end to break anything free. It's just a speed wrench. And, you really shouldn't use a ratchet to break anything free or final tightening. So, I don't know. Again, very confused on who this is meant for. And as far as pricing goes, I have no pricing on it because I couldn't really find it online for sale in this configuration to give you a price. If I find it in editing, I'll put it on the screen. But guys, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and feelings. What do you think about this set? Who do you think it's geared for? Do you think it would work in the automotive sector? Because, as I said, I don't think with the paracord and the presentation or anything like that, I don't think it's a very good set for a mechanic. Next up, we'll move on to the ratchets. We've got a 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch. I believe these are a 92 ratchet mechanism. They are extremely slim, but they are a sealed head. Now, I don't know if they're sealed as a traditional sealed head ratchet is for, ingress of contaminants and stuff with O-rings and stuff to seal it. But like it's a snap ring enclosure one where you can't really disassemble it, or I can't figure out exactly how to get in it to show you the internals. Now you see it's a very asymmetrical design. The handle is offset and, it's flared back here. It's not, I don't know. It's got an interesting look to it, but again, this is a generic ratchet. Most of you are probably commenting below like I saw in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, and all the others where, hey, Laser sells those, or hey, Sealy sells those in the UK, as well as others. This is coming from, I think, W Tools, or I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember which Taiwan manufacturer. But anyway, this is sold under many different brand names. This is not something unique to Utoku. This is, just an all-black finish. I think they have a matte chrome finish. I think they have a polished finish. And I think they're going to anodize these or give colors as well. But again, it's nothing like unique or super special. It's something that is a rebrand and sold under many names. Now, I believe these are available on Amazon right now. I think they're like $15 to $30, somewhere in that range between the 1/4 and the 3/8. They seem okay, but as far as their usage, like I said, they are slim, but back drag is kind of high. I did a very unfair comparison earlier with the 1/4" drive versus a Koken Z series, and of course, the Koken came out with flying colors as far as back drag, or this one had super high back drag. Now, will it wear in and run better? Probably, but right now, out of the box, back drag is pretty high on it. Another issue I found is that when you apply any kind of pressure to the selector switch, it will seize up and or free spin, kind of like the issues we saw on the Snap-on Synergy ratchet. So, as normal, but put any kind of pressure there, it strips, free spins, locks up. So it does have a flaw there. Any kind of pressure on that switch, you know, if you're backed up against something, it's going to slip and free spin on you. Now, again, it's not blowing my socks off. It's, you know, it's a 92 ratchet. It's slim. For comparison, I'll grab just a regular Snap-on F80 to show you as far as the width of the head is concerned. But, you know, in actual usability, who knows? It's, you know, generic. Nothing really special. Like I said, you can get it under other name brands. It's not that expensive. Neat, cool. Something cool to add to the ratchet collection as far as looks and the finish. But other than that, again, not sure if it's worth your time or money. Now I know so far I've been extremely negative in this review. Or, you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, oh, he got free tools. He's biased because he's got free tools. He's not going to trash a company that sent him free product. Free product means absolutely nothing to me anymore. I have so many duplicates of tools that free tools do not sway me. Free tools do not pay my bills. Free tools do not put food on the table. Free tools do nothing for me in my life at this point. I already had a massive collection of my own financing. So, you know, something on top is literally just to show you guys. It's something to share with the audience. It's something to make content on. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's either good or it's not. And, you know, whether I get more free product or not because I give a quote-unquote bad review, it's giving an honest review. I don't care at the end of the day to, you know, try to get everything there is and, you know, get more free stuff. So if something's generic or something's a rebrand or something is just not, you know, really worth the price point, I'm not gonna not tell you guys that. I hope y'all understand that or have watched me long enough to know that. So one thing that is kind of impressive and I do like I said, I've been pretty negative, but I do like these sockets. Now, again, this is a very small set of 1/4" sockets. It's only shallow, and I believe it's a 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Yep, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Now, this does have that same tooth pattern in it like the box end of the Nexer wrenches. These are branded as Nexer sockets. Does it actually add any bite? Does it keep you from rounding them over? Don't actually know. Don't have any testing. Don't have anything, you know, partially rounded or stripped to test it on. As far as the socket, it worked pretty good. Tested them out a little bit on some stuff. Put an extra long Snap-on TLL F72 on this, so the big long one. And I put it on a tensioner, not tensioner, idler pulley, 14mm idler pulley bolt on an F-Series engine and broke it free. Didn't crack the socket, didn't mar the socket inside. Seems to be pretty decent. Like I said, most Taiwanese tools are pretty decent quality and all, so I'm not trashing Taiwanese tools as a far. I absolutely love Max Precision torque wrenches and some other stuff from Taiwan. So it's not like I'm out here bashing Taiwanese stuff. It's just, you know, the stuff that came before wasn't that great. But these sockets seem to be good. Again, it's a tiny set. Price point, not even sure on. Again, I'll put it on the screen if I can find it, but it's hard to find a supplier or seller for this brand. But again, it's something generic. It's not their product. It's a rebranded product. They're getting these sockets from whoever. I'll put on the screen if I can figure it out. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a little socket set, 1/4" drive. maybe gimmicky, maybe useful. Who knows with the little T for lines in there. So last but not least, we've got, at least they look cool, if nothing else. It's kind of a World Rally blue and gold theme here. We got some Subaru going on here. We've got, first off, this little flex head 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch sockets on one side, 1/4 inch hex bits on the other. Right off the bat, I don't like this. I don't like multi-tools like this. I don't like that because if I'm using a 1/4 inch, I'm using it to get into something extremely compact or tight. So having this double head on it already hinders the tool because it is bigger than it should be. It should either be, 1/4 inch square drive, or it should be 1/4 inch bit driver. It shouldn't be both. It's too big on the head. This is not a product they make. This comes from, again, I'll put it on the screen. My mind is failing me now. They sell it under many name brands. I think Boxo has a version of it. Many other brands have versions of it. You can buy it from this manufacturer, have your name put on it, whatever else. Nothing particularly great about it. Kind of Harbor Freight-ish with it being double-headed. I think Harbor Freight has some sockets or wrenches, ratchets that are double-headed like this. I just think it's kind of cheesy and gimmicky because, again, when you need something this small, you want it as compact as possible because you're getting into an area that has limitations on the size. So when you make it double the width it should be, you're ruining the usefulness of it being a small little driver. Secondly, kind of like this. This is a double-ended ratcheting wrench. We got a 14 and an 8 on this side and a 10 and 12 on this side. Again, generic rebranded product. We see it in a lot of other brand names. I'll put some on the screen. I think even Worth has a version of this, probably from the same Taiwanese manufacturer. One thing Utoku does is they put the nice coloration on here, so you can get it in all kinds of like pretty shiny colors. But as far as usability, again, it's wider than it should be. It's like those cheap Leatherman, and I'm not even a Leatherman fan. I think when something does too much at the same time, it becomes useless at doing all the things. It's kind of like a lot of multi-tools. Any kind of multi-tool that can do, everything never does the one thing of the many things it does really well. I'd rather have a, dedicated 8mm, 10mm, 14 or 12 wrench instead of one that's a multi-4. This is great for something, like a bicycle, dirt bike, motorcycle. This is great to throw in a saddlebag for something, when you need to pack light and one tool will cover 4 sizes and what you're working on isn't like super jammed in there tight, compact areas. But for an actual like automotive mechanic, I just don't see this being very usable, or this, as a matter of fact, either, unfortunately. So guys, there you have it, our introduction, first look at some of this stuff from Utoku. Nothing really blew my skirt up, so to say, and I know I was pretty negative about the whole review, but, nothing here is really unique other than, like, colors and finishes. It's all pretty much generic rebrand stuff. This stuff like the wrenches didn't really make sense. It doesn't really do anything really well. This is kind of a talking piece. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything like that. Again, as I said, just because I got sample products or products for free doesn't mean it automatically means a good review or a great review. But I'm not dogging them either. I mean, I'm sure these products are good in their own areas or own regard, but as far as for automotive repair, things of that nature, or for a professional, I just don't see it. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Was I too harsh on this stuff, or am I bang on the money with my assessments of what I've seen? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future Subaru and tool content. I'll see you guys in the next one.